As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Welcome to Chicago, where the fire serve cold, but the Wolves and the Hawks never shiver in the snow. The Bulls keep it running, the Sox run the South, the Cubs run the North, but the Bears run the house. True Chicago sports fans got their ears to the street. Any team make a move and they never skip a beat. And in this house, this is where we be. Welcome to the show with E-Rock and Big Z.
Welcome to Chicago. Coming from the True Chicago Sports Fan Cave, this is the TCSF podcast with E-Rock and Big Z.
Yes, sir.
Episode 98 is brought to you by 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, ACSI, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirts. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your official TCSF shirts now.
Go get them.
Ahora mismo. As always, I'm Big Z, and I'm here, my boy, E-Rock. What up, E?
What's up, Z? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show. If you are a first-timer or a long-timer, please remember to hit that subscribe button, that notify button, and go ahead and give us a review on your listening app of choice. You can find us on Facebook at True Chicago Fans. You can follow us on Twitter at True Chi Fans and on IG at True Chicago Sports Fans. And don't forget, you can support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans. Go on over there, click on support, and you can subscribe to the show for as low as 99 cents a month. Do you like the show?
I do.
Are you a fan?
I am.
Then tell 5 of your friends, and they will tell 5 of their friends, and we can all be friends and share it. If you like the content, share it with your friends, your family, your sports neighbors, everyone that you like to argue with sports about. That's what we do here. Cubs,
we love to argue.
Sox, Bears, Bulls. Z wants to go off about the Fire once in a while.
Once in a while when they're playing.
Look, and maybe if the Hawks get their shit together, we'll talk about them too. But listen, this is the place you go when you want to hear about sports, and we don't just talk about sports, ladies and gentlemen.
We be about sports.
We be about sports, right? Yeah. But we talk about movies. We talk about all the stuff that's going on today, being Memorial Day. We're going to talk about that a little bit. So going into that, Z, I know you are on vacation now, aren't you?
Not yet. We got 4 more days.
Oh, look at that.
4 more days.
That's a premature, yeah.
Sounds like you have trouble with the curve.
How you been, man?
I've been good, man. First off, I want to thank our team for putting in all the hard work for over 2 years, because it is our anniversary, 2-year anniversary. Happy anniversary, sir.
You too, sir. How you like that?
Oh, man. These guys and gals have been putting in a lot of work. Yourself, Georgie, Mike, Berto, who's new to the team, Serge, one of the OGs, along with your wife, Kim, who's been the backbone behind the scenes, helping us out with, cooking food and making sure we're okay and alive.
Yeah. I mean, look, she's here. We're here in the studio in my house every week. She's always here making sure that we're good to go. You know what I mean? We have a nice, comfortable place to record. And, we honestly, we really couldn't do it without her.
Not at all, especially with a good cooking, bro.
That's right.
Just keeping me nice and chunky. Thank you, Kim. Again, especially our friends and family who supported us since day one. A special thank you to our fans for coming out on this magical ride with us. As far as for my week, though, school's almost out. I don't want to play that song yet. That'll be next week. I participated in a teachers versus students volleyball game. Let me just say it was a disappointing day for them students. So, I'm playing, and I'm like, I told the rest of the teachers, I'm like, no mercy. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, we got to make a statement.
You heard me. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Right. We came to play. Final score 117-18.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's about right.
So, yeah, we'll cue up the no mercy sound effect later. But, yeah, we got to put that in there. We swept the leg.
Sweep the leg.
But look, here's the thing, man. It's really unfair. They don't let me play Little League because I would kill it right now. I'd be so good. I've been practicing for 40 years, guys.
I'm 12. So some good news on the bowling aspect. Our bowling team on Wednesday finally took a sweep. Last week we played the other sucky team. And the only reason we've been losing is because everyone else has a high handicap. So I don't know if there's a lot of new bowlers. But the other thing that I've seen a lot of these teams do is they bring a new player in. So in the first 4 weeks, we were playing first 5 weeks, they have a whole new team every single time. So they get the 70 pins per match.
Oh.
So you're looking at 210 pins, and if they have 1 or 2 players, that's 420 pins extra.
Right.
So we're leading the league in scratch pins. We're 1 or 2 every week. But that has been killing us. So we played the last place team. We kind of played to our competition. I bowled pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. But it's a different lane for myself. Louis also shot me a screenshot the other day. He's bowling at Hillside over there off 290,
yep.
right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Oh, I bowled a 198 and a 210 and this and that." I'm like, "Yeah, but we need that on." At diversity. And to give Louis some credit, he has been bowling his ass off. But the rest of the team has been up and down. So I want to win another jacket. So I don't know if I told you we won our championship at Waveland.
Yep, yes.
And because we won our championship, we're actually getting jackets made. That Waveland's giving us jackets with our names on it on the back.
Oh, wow.
So
you guys are like the pen pals.
Yeah, we're gonna. So we're walking around like Letterman and shit. Like,
There you go.
Yeah. So, other than that, it's been crazy because the weather is changing. It is the start of barbecue season. Yep. And that's why I'm here.
That's right.
How was your week, brother?
Look, man, busy, getting back into the swing. I mean, there's just been a lot of stuff going on at work. And then we're getting ready for our trip to New York. My wife and I, Kim, getting ready to go to New York. We're going Wednesday through Saturday, and we're going to catch the Yankees versus the Tigers on the Friday. So we're going to see, like I said before last week, we're going to see Rizzo, we're going to see Javi. So that'll be fun. Just gearing up for that. I mean, and getting the pool ready, summertime, today being Memorial Day. So we're going to go out there and do our thing. But, before we get too deep into it, we want to salute our troops, think about all that they've done for us, to have us, to allow us to have a day like this, to be free, to be outside, enjoy the beginning of the summer. A lot of crazy things went on this week in the world. We'll talk about that a little bit later, kind of relating to that. But I just want to say, thank you to all of those. Thank you to all of those, all of our vets out there doing their thing. And, we appreciate everything that you do.
No, for us, I know I'm going to speak for Ease, that we have a lot of friends that are in the military. Yes. And God bless it that we have seen those guys and gals come back home.
Yep.
I can't put a finger on anybody we lost overseas at the moment, but a lot of these guys went into law enforcement or they started their own business and they're thriving. Yeah, especially the Knights as well. So we appreciate you, everything you've done. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice.
Thank you for making it back home.
Yeah, thank you for making it back home.
Selena was out there. You know what I mean? We just, we went to a school that was so big, and we had ROTC there. So I knew a lot of people that actually did go into service. Yeah, I knew a few people that did pass away or just didn't come back the right way. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I mean, it's tough. Hey, shout out to Georgie's wife Molly. You know what I mean? She's been through it. So I mean, like
Big Rob.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Big Rob and one of the Knights. I can't remember his name. We always throw off my name.
You always forget the name.
Yeah, I always forget his name. Anyways, he knows who he is.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, bro.
Yeah, but again, it's tricky to say something like Happy Memorial Day because we are kind of thinking about those who passed away, did not make it. So one thing when we do go to New York, we're gonna go check up the World Trade Center Memorial. So that'll be kind of, Yeah. So just to kind of wrap that up, but yeah, we just want to make sure that we give.
Yeah, make sure you understand why we're celebrating this holiday.
Right. Yeah. It's not just the beginning of summer. It's not just like barbecue like we're going to be doing. You know what I mean? And barbecue and beer. That's what we're going to do that anyway. It doesn't matter. But this is a special occasion. But look. Speaking of special occasions,
yes, sir.
And the beginning of summer, it's summer. Maybe you need a fresh start. So let me tell you about a great opportunity with our friends over at ACSI. With over 50 expert technicians in the Chicagoland area, ACSI offers a one-stop shop for telecom wiring. Whether residential cable installation, fiber to the home, or commercial structured cable wiring, ACSI is a proud partner of both Comcast and Astound, powered by RCN. Fans, let me tell you the most impressive thing about ACSI. The ACSI crew did their thing during the COVID-19 pandemic, and ACSI was awarded Hacia's 2020 Contractor of the Year award. The best part is that ACSI is growing bigger and better than ever. ACSI is now hiring for field sales technicians and project managers. Check out acsi.tech. That's acsi.tech and click on careers to apply today. ACSI is an equal opportunity employer.
Go get you a job.
Please go get a job. I know that some of us are off for the summer, but the rest of y'all need some jobs, right?
Hey, I've earned it.
All right, this week we're going to talk about the Southside edition of the Crosstown Classic Plus during the pot and what you looking at. But first, this is the Big Three with Big Z.
Thanks, E-Rock. I'm Big Z, and you're not. All right, for today's stories, story number one. Oh, this one hurts. This one hurts, man, because I grew up watching this man in terrific movies, left and right, and there's a movie that we can both agree on, and I'm gonna speak for you again.
Yeah.
That's two for two. Yeah, there's anytime Goodfellas is on, forget about your plans.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's on, you were watching it from whatever point you watch it, it's on. You're gonna watch it from there on. When it comes on Netflix, they bring it back on Netflix. I'm like, oh, I guess I know what I'm watching when I go to sleep.
That's right.
Yeah, you gotta watch. You gotta watch this man and his performance. Ray Liotta, the terrific actor whose career breakout came in the 1990 Martin Scorsese crime classic Goodfellas, after co-starring in Field of Dreams, has passed away in his sleep. He was 67. Ray was working on a project in the Dominican Republic called Dangerous Waters when he passed. He passed in his sleep. He is survived by his daughter, Carson, and his fiance, JC. How do you say that? Nitolo. This was given to us by his publicist via CNN.
So, yeah, I mean, the very first thing we had to put in the intro is, ever since I could remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Yeah.
You know? And that was the thing, is that I think if you know Ray Liotta, that's the thing you know him most for. But I mean, he's been in so many movies. You talked about Field of Dreams. I mean, even
Blow.
I mean, he was just in so many like iconic movies, iconic roles. And I mean, and if I recall correctly, Ray Liotta was like adopted. He went through a lot of things in his life, and he basically pulled himself up by his bootstraps, and he came out and he did his thing. And it's a loss. I'm really looking forward to what this latest movie he was working on. I'm sure they're gonna have to finish it up, right?
Yeah, and then most recently he was in the Saints of Newark.
Right.
So, I mean, if you saw that, you saw him portray one of the older characters from the Sopranos family in the Sopranos series. He literally was such a great actor. Like, he can make you love him. He can make you feel sympathetic for him. And he can make you hate him so good. Yes. And that was his bread and butter. Like, you're going to hate me. Wasn't he on, like, Ray, one of those shows on Showtime? Was it called Ray? I don't know. There's a gangster show on there as well, but he has done so much, and he's definitely going to be missed.
Yeah, he was in Narc. He was in Simpsons, right? He played Moe's brother. I mean, he's been in just so many different things. He did some voiceover work for like 30 for 30s. Just so many different roles that you can like focus on, and if you don't like one, you'll find another one, because he did so many movies, and it's a huge loss, and I'm sad to see that he's no longer going to be around for a new movie after this one. But I'm looking forward to his next one that should be coming out.
So besides Goodfellas, what's another movie that you're like, oh, I gotta watch it?
So the funny thing is that it's not necessarily like his movie, but
his role in the movie.
I'm trying to remember the name of the damn thing, but it was when Seth Rogen played the cop.
Seth Rogen played the cop?
He played a mall cop, right? And Ray Liotta was the actual like police officer, and in that he was there and he was basically giving him a hard time, and he was like, "You're not a real cop," and I can't remember the damn name of it. Observe and Report. Observe and Report was the name of the movie. So Seth Rogen, that's what it was. So so he they go to war. They go to war in that movie, and it's so silly because it was like a better version of Paul Blart,
the mall cop. Yeah.
So it's just a better version of that movie, in my opinion. It kind of came out around the same time. So that's the one that I always, and I just think it's a funny movie. It's so absurd. So I'll watch that one. But I mean, like Goodfellas and Goodfellas and Field of Dreams is definitely the pinnacle of like, our generation and
Right.
loving him.
Yeah, I'm literally gonna go this summer on a binging a Ray Liotta thing. Just gonna go watch everything from Copland to John Q. Just where he has small roles, but I don't even remember him in Hannibal.
No, I mean, look. Here's the problem: is that if I can't remember what shows I watch, you think I'm gonna remember like parts of movies? Nah.
All right, story number 2. Man, what a barn burner of a game yesterday. Everyone was asking me for my picks, and I'm like, you take Boston in 7. Take Boston in 7. I'm like, Jimmy might have a good game, but he's not going to have a spectacular game like he did in Game 6.
No, I mean, let me tell you something. The C's came out. They beat the Heat to win Game 7, and now they're going to go and play the Dubs, right?
Yeah, the Dubs.
So now it's the first time in 12 years the Celtics is going to go to the finals.
Right.
And Al Horford, in 15 years in his career, is his first time going to the chip. I mean, look at this team. You're watching the emergence of Jason Tatum as an all-star, as one of the top 5 players in the league right now.
Right.
One of the things that we saw, this is a crazy game because Boston was ahead the whole game, and they were ahead by 10, they were ahead by 20, and then here comes the Heat bouncing back and they're roaring back, going back and forth, and right at the end, Jimmy Butler with a terrible fucking 3.
Okay, so
Terrible.
I don't agree with the taking a shot. You take the tie, you still had a lot of time, but he was wide open.
It's what you love and hate about Jimmy Butler, right?
Exactly. It's the Jimmy shot.
Because he makes that shot and he's a hero, but he's not a good 3-point shooter.
No, but he wanted to put the nail in the coffin and say, I'm the man. That's pretty much what the shot was.
And I mean, they went to the finals a couple years ago. They didn't make it.
No.
They played they played the Bucks.
They played the Bucks.
Was it the Bucks or the Lakers
No,
they lost to?
No, they lost to the Lakers. That was the year the
It was
Lakers
the
and the
bubble.
Dodgers won, yeah.
It was the bubble.
Yeah, it was a bubble
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, Jimmy is Jimmy, and Jimmy wants the spotlight, and Jimmy wanted to be the man to put the nail in the coffin. And guess what? You've been playing every minute up to that point.
Yeah,
Your
every
legs were
single minute,
tired.
yes.
The way he shot it was off balance. It was, again,
But again, he's not a good 3-point shooter.
no, it's not from there. He's good from the corner.
One thing that we have seen is the emergence of him being able to drive to the hoop more and more, being able to
Right.
manipulate his body. But you look at him, he's so big and strong that he's not as athletic as some of the other guys that have more flow to their body, if that makes sense. You know
No,
what I
that
mean? He's a
makes
little
total sense.
He's a little bit more stiff.
Yeah,
you know?
and again, I was watching a post-game show, and they were talking about, like, oh, is that a good shot by Jimmy? No, that's
If
a
he
Jimmy
makes
shot.
If he makes it.
Of course, if he makes it.
he's a genius.
Right, but it's a Jimmy shot.
Right.
You had the guy backpedaling, almost falling down. You could have just driven to the hole. You would have got the foul. You would have got the end one.
Yep.
There's your 3 points. You would have had the 1-point lead. A different game at that point. So congratulations to the Boston Celtics, who actually beat everyone that
Yes.
beat them.
Yep.
In the last couple years.
They came back and beat the
Giannis.
they beat
Kevin
Giannis,
Durant.
Kevin Durant. Yep.
Who else did they beat?
The Heat.
On the Heat, right? Those are the 3 teams that.
Those are the 3 teams
Yeah.
that because last
They
year
eliminated
yep,
them.
Yep, exactly.
So
So I mean, look, that was the
revenge
come over tour, the revenge tour, and look, very entertaining. I'm looking forward to see the Celtics, and I'm looking forward to see the Dubs. But here's the problem: 2 Game 7s in a row for the C's, right? They had to fight tooth and nail to get there.
Yep.
They had beat the Nets already.
Yep.
So I mean, they're doing good, but I don't know, man. The Dubs have had a lot of rest now.
The Dubs have had are going to have about 10 or 12 days off, and then the C's are only going to have like 5 days off. These guys are all banged up, but if those Splash Brothers, all 3 of them, if they get hot, forget about it. You look at blowouts, and it's going to be boring. I hope it's a competitive game, just like Game 7 of the Boston Celtics Miami game. Great series.
I'm hoping for at least 6 games in this series.
Yeah, it's going to be 4-2 Dubs.
Yeah, that's my prediction. Like that's what I think is going to happen after we already blew it by saying the Bucks were going to win and saying Phoenix was going to win. I don't know who said that, but
I don't know who said that.
Yeah, but I mean, look again. Jason Tatum right now, you know what I mean? You're seeing the league transform. We've seen like the emergence, what we talked about before about Luka possibly being one of the top players in the league, number 1, number 2, whatever it is. So you saw him kind of come up in that the series against the Warriors. They made sure that in Game 4 they came out on fire and they beat Golden State. But I mean, you know, the Warriors are just too damn good, and it's
we'll see what the C's do, because they have one of the best defenses, and then you got Tatum and Brown and Marcus Smart. They all play pretty good defense, and so it's going to be like
if I'm not mistaken, every member of the I think it was the Celtics. Every single member of the starting 5 of the Celtics got first or second team consideration for defensive, all time or whatever it is. So so I mean, look, it'll be interesting, but hey. I love watching the NBA. I love watching any league's championship, right? So even if I didn't like the NBA, I'm watching the championship.
Well, it doesn't matter. Once you hear the two words, Game 7, you have to watch.
Yes.
You have
100%.
to watch. All right, story number 3. And this one is, on a serious note, it's going to tug the hearts of everybody. At least 19 children and 2 adults were killed in a shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde County on May 24th. It is the deadliest shooting ever at a Texas public school.
So this was basically a 4th grade class and 2 of their teachers. This young man, 18 years old, shot his grandmother. He was only about 10 days past being 18.
Mm-hmm.
Poor kid somehow got these assault weapons, walked into the school. Sorry. Just walked right in there, and really without much resistance, right?
From my understanding, he shot his grandmother. And then he was evading, and he was, I guess, being chased by the police. And he was driving. He was driving. He crashed into a ditch. He went right into the school. Like they weren't even going after him yet. So I just see the vehicle crashed by the school, and I guess he walked right into the school.
He walked right into the school. Basically, not much resistance. We can talk about all the things that we've heard since then about the police department not really going in there, not really just not doing what they needed to do, right? I want to be delicate about what I'm saying here. But I mean, like we're seeing a lot of reports come out about them just not going in there. There was one, I even saw one report about like one guy went in there and like got his kids out and like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's all hearsay at this moment because, social media will post fake stories out there. But what we do know is that for a fact that there is a protocol that's been installed after Columbine. And we were in high school during Columbine, and it changed the way we walked into school. It changed the way we looked at different things at that point. And then that wasn't the first mass shooting at a school, but it was one of the most nationally televised because I think one happened in Wilmette. I can't remember the year, but we talked about it at work. But there is a protocol by law enforcement that when you have something of an active shooter at a school, you don't have to wait for SWAT anymore.
Yeah, and look, I really don't want to focus on that aspect of it. Again, this is 19 children, the 2 adults, all basically in the same class. I saw stories, even like one little girl like saw some blood, grabbed some blood, put it on herself just so you could
play dead.
Being dead. You know what I mean? So, and the really heartbreaking thing about this is literally like hours before that, all the parents were in there in the school because the kids were getting their awards for the end of the year. It was 2 days before the end of the school year. Z, you're about to end your school year at your school. So I want to ask you, as a teacher, I really want your thoughts on this. And what were you feeling when you first heard about this?
Utter disgust. Utter disgust because it's supposed to be where you can send your children to be safe for 6, 7, 8 hours and not have to worry about anything happening to them because you have responsible adults there that are going to take care of your child like it is your own. And again, I've always have conversation. I say my kids are like, oh, you have kids? I'm like, no. My 600 kids in the building, those are all my kids, whether I have them 1 year or I have them all 3 years, or even when they graduate, they're still going to be my kids.
Right.
And to have that happen at such a small town and to such young souls who had nothing to do with this person who committed this crime, it really boils my blood because they had nothing to do with it. They had no ill will towards this person. They didn't cause this man any pain. They didn't tease him. So it was very unprovoked. There's no reason for that to happen in our country at all. Okay. You have a school. They're not going to arm the security guards. Okay. You don't want that. You don't want armed security guards. You don't want to arm your teachers. What teachers need is funding to be able to teach your child better.
Well, the funny thing is you mentioned you mentioned funding, and I saw something on Facebook. It says, you want to arm these teachers. You can't even find enough money in the budget to get them pens.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
You know what I mean? So where do you think this money is going to come from? And like I said, I don't want to get too political into it, but there is a very distinct feeling of frustration
Yeah.
on my part. I'm watching the thing. I remember the day what happened, and I'm sitting there, and my daughter, who's just a couple years older than that, and just thinking about that. And this is 10 years after Sandy Hook, right?
Yep.
So, I put on the news, and I'm watching one of the parents from Sandy Hook talk about it, and they asked her, he says, hey, can you explain to other parents that are going through this right now what it feels like, and any advice that you can give them, or can you go back to that time? And the parent just like, she thought for a second, and she just says, I can't. I don't want to go back there.
No.
She couldn't, you know what I mean? Like, she couldn't make it through it. So, we were talking about the Warriors a little bit earlier. Warriors coach Steve Kerr spoke about the shooting before their Game 5 victory, or their victory over the Mavs that sent them to the finals.
I'm not going to talk about basketball. Nothing's happened with our team in the last 6 hours. We're going to start the same way tonight. Any basketball questions don't matter. Since we left shoot-around, 14 children were killed 400 miles from here, and a teacher. And in the last 10 days, we've had elderly black people killed in a supermarket in Buffalo. We've had Asian churchgoers killed in Southern California, and now we have children murdered at school. When are we going to do something? I'm tired. I'm so tired of getting up here and offering condolences to the devastated families that are out there. I'm so tired of I'm tired of the moments of silence. Enough.
Enough is the exact sentiment. I mean, he did go on a bit talking about gun control and talking about the I like I said, I don't want to get into that too much.
Yeah.
I kind of cut that out, but talking about the reason why, you think about England, about 25 years ago, they had a mass shooting. They got rid of all those assault weapons.
Yeah, and again, we don't want to get into that aspect, but we just want to say that this should not be happening in a country that is so rich compared to other countries. Yeah. You have all the opportunity to do things. You have avenues for help. Yep. Reach out to a friend. Reach out to someone that can help you.
So yeah. I mean, he mentioned also the shooting that literally just happened in Buffalo 10 days prior on May 14th on your birthday. Yeah. There was a mass shooting that occurred in Buffalo at the Tops Friendly Market store, and 10 black people were killed and 3 other were injured, and the gunman was an 18-year-old male. Just like I said, in the school shooting, it was an 18-year-old young male. Yeah. And typically what you'll see is you get these poor, underprivileged kids. Where are they getting money to get these assault weapons?
I have no idea.
That's what I really want to know. Like, how are you gaining access? Because once they traced it, it is legal, and it's you know what I mean. So what is going on here? It almost seems like there's something else going on behind the lines. Again, let's not speculate on that. Let's really focus on this Memorial Day, also including the lives of the children that were lost, the two teachers that were lost. One teacher, her husband, right after going to the memorial, came home and had a heart attack and passed away.
He passed away with a broken heart.
You know what I mean? So look, and for those, we've heard from Steve Kerr before his compassion about issues like this, because he's come out there. He said I think we're in the same boat. He says I'm tired of giving my thoughts and prayers and condolences to devastated families. I mean,
it's that wash, rinse, repeat. Right,
and later on in that statement, he says, we can't become numb to this, and that's the problem, is that we sit here in disbelief, but I mean, you have to believe it at this point, because it just keeps happening.
Yeah, it's. I don't want to become political, but I want to say that everyone has dropped the ball.
Yeah,
everyone, every adult that has some type of authority to protect children. Yes. In all aspects, not just for this, but in all aspects, has dropped the ball. And nothing's going to change until we are responsible, where, it takes a village to raise a child. And that's gone away. That's gone away from when we grew up, because, we had, your tia and the mom, and over there in the neighborhood, if you're doing something wrong, you're getting reported, and you're going to get it when you get home. And that's what we have to go back to, where we have a village taking care of all of our children.
And I mean, you know, as a coach, coaching kids that age and older, I mean, I've seen, you know, again, we talked about your kids. These are my kids. These are the kids for the rest of their lives. I'm going to be checking up on them, seeing how they're doing, you know, when they have kids of their own. You know what I mean? Like, just, hey, you know, I heard this, that, when news, whatever. One of the little girls right there was just standing up with her parents, showing off an award. And one of the pictures they showed was her in her softball uniform. So, I mean, that you know, that is something I really took to heart. And for those who really don't know about Steve Kerr's family history, you know, his father, Malcolm, was a university professor specializing in the Middle East and the Arab world. He was an American citizen, and he was born and raised in Beirut, Lebanon. And that's where he passed away. He served as president of the American University of Beirut, and he was killed by a gunman in 1984. So Steve Kerr, right when he was really kind of developing, going into his college and NBA years early on with the Cavs, you know, he kind of went through all this too. So, I mean, he is very close to a situation like this where he has seen violence and experienced this. So, you know, again, a heartfelt condolence to all the families of the victims, whether it's at the school, whether it's at Buffalo, whether it's at the church that he mentioned. You know, and it's just sad to see this happening again, especially when it has to do with children. I think that's where I don't see anything changing, which is a shame. But as a parent, as a coach, and you as a teacher, you know, I think I can speak for you as well, just to say that, you know, this really, really just tears us to pieces inside, and we just want to wish our condolences.
All right, I'm Big Z, and that's news to me. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey, what's up? This is Lex Cruz from Jungle AE Recording Studios and Illinois Media School, and you are now listening to True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast.
Welcome back to the TCSF Podcast with E-Rock and Big Z.
Yeah.
This is The Bottom Line.
And that's the bottom line.
In this segment, we discuss the biggest Chicago sports topic of the week, and this week it's none other than the Chicago Crosstown Classic Southside edition.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. The White Sox avoided a sweep against the Cubs last weekend on the Southside by taking the finale by a score of 5-4 in 12 innings. I know we've each talked about it off air. I got to watch it with no sound, and you got to watch it. I mean, hear it with no picture. So we're gonna put our thoughts together on this one. So
like Captain
first up,
Planet.
I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'll chime in, brother. Go ahead.
So look, I mean, the Cubs did. I think the Cubs actually did pretty well in this series.
They played their ass off.
You know, you saw what happened in Game 1, right? Yeah. I mean, this is my first question. Okay.
Okay.
Is TLR a Cubs fan? I have a question.
I think so, yo.
Because I think he might be a Cubs fan. The way that he left Volquez in there so fucking long.
Oh my God. His management of the bullpen has
not Volquez. What's his fucking name?
Vasquez.
No. Your
Hendricks?
pitcher. No, the big fat fucking pitcher. It's not Edison Volquez, is it?
No, not Edison Volquez.
No, it's what's his name? Oh, come on. Are you serious?
I'm telling you, didn't get to watch the game like that.
Yeah, you're fucking Johnny Cueto. Your pitcher.
Johnny Cueto? You talking about Johnny Cueto with 6 innings or 6 or 7 innings in?
You mean TLR left
3 of those runs were not his fault. They were all errors.
TLR left him in for about 15 fucking innings.
Yeah, he was way too long.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand what the hell was that about?
Yeah, Cueto was he had 12 scoreless innings prior to that. He's pitched two games of 6 innings each, and you know, at some point you've seen the White Sox pitchers get hit in the last 10 days.
Yep.
And a lot of it's because the teams are adjusting because they know that they're going to get a fastball off the first pitch, and they're jumping on the White Sox very early.
But that's exactly that was the Cubs' game plan from the start.
Jump on them
early. I mean, the first pitch of the game was
home
hit
run
by the young kid that the Cubs just brought up. I mean, look, it was a Christian whatever. Oh wow. Watching the Cubs and Brewers right here on Memorial Day. But yeah, I mean, look, the Cubs jumped on Johnny Cueto early, not Volquez, I promise you. But they jumped on. We're talking about the damn Reds pitchers last show. But look, Christopher Morel jumped on him right away, went out there, and they just did their thing in that first game. And it was impressive to see the Cubs come out and prove that, look, I don't care if, you guys are supposed to be better than us. But the problem is that the White Sox have been sitting there and just playing like a 500 team. They're not busting out the way we expected them to.
It's funny enough that you mentioned the 500 team because that's what they've been playing. They're 5-5 in the last 10. I've been going back and forth with Ozzie Guillen Jr. on Twitter. We know how that can go. That can go for hours where we just go back and forth. We start quoting numbers and so forth. But one thing that we did agree upon is that the White Sox are going to be playing 600 ball the rest of the season because of the injuries.
You better hope they're playing 600 ball.
But that's not going to get the job done. They're going to get maybe the second wild card and get bounced out right away.
And that's my problem is that right now you talk about all the talent on the team. Yes, you got injuries, but I mean, we talked about it before. Injuries can't be an excuse. You have to have enough depth to cover injuries, right? I mean, we saw a pretty bad injury in game 2.
Yeah, Tim Anderson strained his groin when he was making a throw across his body when he fielded a ball in short left field.
Yep.
I mean, he made the play, but when he landed, it looked like his cleat either got stuck or whatever it was, but it looks like a groin injury, so he's heading to the IL. Yep. Tim Anderson is literally the spark plug for the team. When he hits, the team goes and they can score, but it's not happening. It's not going to happen. Like, you got Josh Harrison hitting under 200. Andrew Vaughn has been playing okay. Abreu is still barely warming up. You know, he's like the hot pot of water that it takes forever to heat up. Grandal's hitting under 200. I know he's walking lately, but still, he cannot play. His defense is garbage, and he can't throw anybody out, and then he can't hit. So what's the point of having him on the team? Because you paid him $75 million. That's why. Yep. AJ Pollock, again, this is the White Sox bargain hunting in the offseason to address one of their needs is to have a left fielder or a right fielder, and it's just not working out.
But I'm not mad about that because we've seen AJ Pollock be a good player in the league. We saw him do okay with the Dodgers. I mean, but he was really good with the Arizona Diamondbacks before he went to the Dodgers. If I'm not mistaken, he was there first. So I mean, like, you're not expecting you weren't expecting him to be as bad as he is, quote unquote, as bad as he is, right?
Right. Yeah, but the thing is, he's not a fast outfielder either. So that doesn't help us with Lou Bob and Eloy out, who covers a lot of ground in the outfield.
Now one player I would like to give props to is Adam Engel.
That dude is the man of steel.
Right.
If it's near the wall, he's gonna catch it. And you know what? That was that first game where it was 5-1, and Contreras got robbed of a home run and robbed me of some money too, because I had Contreras to hit a home run for that game. So Engel, even though you're making minimum wage over there, I needed that bomb. Another good bright spot has been Jake Berger. He's been hitting the cover off the ball, and obviously he's covering for Moncada at third. So he's not a all-star defensive third baseman.
He's a guy.
He's just a guy filling a spot.
And he got the walk-off for the 12-inning game.
He did make up for the error that cost him a run, and it was a tough hop. But again, Jake Berger has been playing to the best of his ability. This is a guy who came off 2 torn Achilles tendons.
Right.
So for him to make it into in the MLB and make it all the way up, it's been a blessing. Another guy that's been hitting pretty good is Galvin Sheets, even though it hasn't shown it as of this week. But again, you have a lot of injuries now with TA going down for 15 days. Eloy got hurt at his assignment.
Lou Bob was with COVID, he didn't even play in the season.
Right, so he might even play the next series. We got Lance Lynn, who had 3 innings of scoreless inning yesterday, so he's on his way back. But you're looking about 10 days from now. So I mean, when do you press the panic button for the Southside?
I mean, we got to see what's going to happen in June, right? We talked about June coming up soon.
That's what everybody was saying. Oh, it's April, it's cold. Oh, it's May, just wait.
Right. So
and now we're 6 games out. 5-6 games out.
And I think you see what happens halfway through June, see where you're sitting right now. I know you guys play the Twins soon. But, I mean, look, here's what I'll say is that I think every Sox fan in Chicago, after them sweeping the Cubs at Wrigley, expected them to sweep the Cubs at the G spot, right?
I know. I knew we would lose one.
You know what I mean?
We were playing like shit.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in general,
The
like
Cubs get up for
that
us.
cockiness right there. Don't tell me that.
I wasn't
Don't tell
cocky.
me
I
that.
didn't mention nothing all weekend.
But you and me have a different thing. We
Yeah.
pay attention to the teams.
Right.
I promise you guys, like,
Oh,
Berto,
what
like,
doesn't?
fuck your team. Like, calm the fuck down, first of all. I don't care what. Just calm down. Like, you guys take it to such an extreme. But when you talk about, look, the way Stroman came out there, he played pretty well.
Yeah, he did.
Hendricks plays pretty well. Wade Miley for the Cubs, he came in, had, 1 star, 2 stars. Now he's back on the IL. I mean, the guy that I really have, like I said before, have been impressed with was Keegan Thompson. He was the one. He was the starter for Game 1.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's just got that grit. He doesn't give a fuck. He does not care.
That's a good pitcher on your staff.
Yeah.
And the struggles that you guys had for starting pitching and now the bullpen. You guys have been taking days off. It's either one or the other for you guys, and they haven't been consistent. I love to see David Robinson when he pitches for you because he was one of our guys, and he's a monster.
Well, I mean, he's been the most reliable, like one of the most reliable closers, in the league. And the interesting thing is that they have a guy, Scott Efros, who's come in. He gives you that change of pace with
Are you
that
saying
weird.
fuck Ross?
No. No, he's got that crazy like sidearm thing that completely throws you off, especially when he played it in Game 1. Keegan Thompson went up there, did his thing, and then you throw Efros in there, and then he's just Thompson is a conventional pitcher, right? So now you got this guy throwing like this sidearm crazy. Like, what the fuck happened? So I mean, like I talked about it before. I talked about the fact that the Cubs are not going to be as bad as people think they are.
No.
Their record doesn't show how talented this team is because they're sitting there and they're still smacking people in the face, but it's either they're not getting that timely hitting or they're not getting that, like, just right there they're losing by 1 run, and that's the trick of it. But I mean, you look at guys like Michael Givens has been pretty good for the Cubs. You can go up and down and just see that this team, they had PJ Higgins had to come in because when Wilson Contreras was injured, you had Yan Gomes. Well, literally right then, Yan Gomes got injured, so they had to bring in Higgins, who is still on the roster because even though Contreras is back, you need your backup catcher. But one guy I will talk about is Schwindel, man. Schwindel was literally getting ready to get sent down.
Yeah.
He was literally assigned to AAA.
Yeah, he's on his way to the airport, and they're like, hold on, sir.
Yep.
You're going to San Diego first.
Exactly.
And he's like, what? They just sent me down. He's like, nope, you're coming back up San Diego. And since then, he's been playing his ass off.
He went from like a 200 hitter to like a 260 hitter. You know what I mean? So he's been doing his thing. Him and Wisdom doing their back-to-back thing, hitting back-to-back home runs in consecutive games last week. So one guy that's been a little bit of a letdown recently is Alfonso Rivas. He was on a hot streak. He's kind of cooled off a bit, and we're still waiting to see what's going to go on with Magical. Magical's on the IL right now, so I don't have a lot of hope. Watching him play, I'm not inspired by him.
No, not at all. I really am. I'm not. Like I told you, like, to send him down, and what ended up happening, he's getting injured. But so he's gonna have to do a AAA stint anyways. So maybe he can get his confidence back. Maybe he get his stroke back. I mean, you need somebody to get on base. You need somebody to set the table for you because you need that leadoff hitter, and that's what you got him for.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. But guess what? They got Christopher Morel who's come up, and he's actually been doing a pretty damn good job. And he's always got a smile on his face. He's always excited to be there. And this is what we saw out of Wisdom and what we saw at Schwindel last year. Guys that are just happy to be in the bigs, trying to make the most out of their situation. I mean, this guy, Christopher Morel, you know what year he was born?
Don't tell me, bro.
The
it's gonna make me feel
year
old.
that we graduated high school.
Oh my god! Don't put that information out there.
and one guy on the Cubs that I'll say I just can't figure out is Nico Horner, man, because him.
Oh, he's so frustrating to watch.
We saw in the first game, we saw that kind of weird thing where Abreu should have caught that ball right there on the you know what I mean. We saw the same thing with Nico and Ian Happ both coming in, and one peeled off, and Happ is expecting him to catch it. Nico Horner stayed out there way too long. You get called off to stop. Don't wait until the ball's about to drop and then get out the way.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. So there's certain things that you got to get to. Nico is a big, strong guy. I mean, he's 6'1" and 200 pounds. He should be smacking the ball around, and I feel like he's just not doing what we expected him to do.
No, it's frustrating on both sides of town. The Cubs are literally playing with house money at this point.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can get out of these guys and who's going to be on the team for the future. As for the White Sox, you got such a disappointing because no one's hitting as the back of their baseball cards says they are.
Right.
Besides Tim Anderson, who was leading the league in batting average and in hits and so forth and so forth. That's it. That has been it. Speaking of disappointments, Keuchel was finally DFA'd. Yay. I mean, he's still owed about $18 million.
It's a disappointment for you guys. You know, the rest of the league is like, damn it.
Yeah, because he's giving up 7 runs a game.
Right.
And this has been going on since last year. I mean, he is, like you said, he got the Jake Arrieta, where he's got no gas in the tank anymore, and he's throwing softballs, literally batting practice to the opposition. Keuchel was 34. He was 2-5 with a 7.88 ERA this season after compiling a 5.2 ERA in 32 games last year. So either way, there was no more room for him because, you know, we brought up Cueto, who's been pitched pretty good except for that game against the Cubs.
But Cueto pitched good in that game.
He did. Because the 3 runs were errors.
You gave up 2 runs in the first. You gave up 1 run in the second, and then nothing the whole rest of the game. That's what he did.
And they were all errors.
Right.
They were under. So it wasn't his fault. So he's been pitching his butt off. And again, that's lightning in a bottle, and see how hard we can ride that horse.
Yeah. I mean, and we talked about that before. Now, here's my question for you. You know, we talked a little bit about like when to hit the panic button for the Sox.
Yeah.
What between now and let's say June 15th, right? What do you need to see out of the White Sox before you will hit the panic button?
See, what's going to go on is that the White Sox are going up north to Canada, and they're playing the Blue Jays, who are not dominating. No. They're another team that has a lot of great players, but not dominating yet.
Well, they're playing a really tough division.
They do.
A really, really tough division.
Yeah, they do. But you got 3 against the Blue Jays, and then 3 against the Rays, and then 3 against the Dodgers. So this is your litmus test.
Yep. I mean, and here's the thing.
That's 9 games.
This is also coming off just getting your ass tore up by the Red Sox.
Yeah, we whooped their ass over there, and then after that they turned it on. Everyone is hitting the cover off the ball. You got Devers and fucking Mookie Betts hitting home runs left and right, and it's like, who the fuck was this team?
And just beat your ass.
Oh yeah, completely. And they whooped on somebody. Was it the Orioles the other day? They had like 12 runs or something like that.
They're a lot better than the Orioles.
We are way better than the Orioles. Yeah, the Orioles are a minor league team right now. But look at it. You got 9 games against potential playoff teams right here, because let's just say the Blue Jays are going to be in the playoffs, barring injuries. The Rays as well are always there.
Right.
Again, these 2 teams play in the same division along with the Yankees, who are dominating right now. So we'll see what happens there. The Dodgers, one of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah.
So again, you have 9 games against really good teams. You've got to come away with this at least 6-3.
So what is the one position where the White Sox have to get better at in order for you to truly feel like they can be a championship contender?
All of them. No Tim Anderson. So that's your 300, 360, 370 hitter out.
But he should be back.
Yeah. Well, he'll be back after those 9 games. You're looking at Eloy and Lubbob also gone. You've got I love Ango in right field. I don't mind him hitting 215, 230.
He got the attitude on him.
Oh yeah, he's got the thing is that La Russa doesn't put him out there. He puts Larry out there.
Larry?
Larry can't fucking hit water. He fell into a tub. Larry's also banged up. Moncada's got this leg issue. So I don't know. Is it the staff that's not preparing these players correctly? Are they doing too much weight and less stretching?
I did hear something about like the fact that your athletic staff, your trainers, your strength and conditioning coaches are not really getting them into position.
Yeah, focus. Do some yoga. Do some hot yoga. Do some Pilates. Do more of that rather than bulking up.
You know who really resurrected his career when he started doing that was Arrieta.
He got slim. You know what I mean? Yeah, I remember he got ripped.
Yeah.
Was he on the cover of some magazine?
He was in. He did the body issue of
Southside.
Yeah,
he was just jacked.
Yeah. So I mean, like, you know, and you know, what do you think about Kopech?
Kopech is going to be fine. I think he's a great addition to the staff. I mean, he's your number 4 pitcher right now, and I think that's fine. And then you have Velasquez and Cueto as your 5. You can alternate them back and forth. Mm-hmm. And then once you have Lance Lynn come back in, the big bastard, now you have a lot of pieces to play with and to give some of these pitchers an extra day off.
So you wouldn't target a pitcher at the trade deadline?
I told them to re-sign Rodon, but they didn't want to spend that money.
Yeah, but again, we talked about that a little bit because, you know, he had to prove it so many times, right?
Yeah, and
that's the problem.
He's dominating with the Giants
right now. But again, he was bad to the point where they let him go and then had to gave him another chance.
Agreed, but he resurrected his career.
You
Yes,
had to prove it in a fucking
year
how
contract.
long is that going to last?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They should have just rewarded him, and then you would have had 1 through 4 locked up.
Yeah, but for how long? That's the problem.
Yeah, he wanted a longer term deal, and the White Sox never do a long term deal for a pitcher.
Not especially not one of their own guys.
No. Well, I mean, Sale was locked up for a long time because it was cheap.
Yeah, and then they traded him, and then
look how much we got. Yeah. So right now for panic button, I would say June 15th. But you're looking at these 3 series, and then you're looking at when Lansing comes back. What kind of effect he's going to have, and then who's coming up? I mean, you got Yolbert Sanchez, who's tearing the ball up. He's been rising up through the ranks. Is he going to be a call up soon? Because everyone's hurt. Mendick is not the answer. Larry's not the answer. I mean, do you call up the young guys already? Because literally there's not much left in the bullpen. No, I mean, the minor leagues for them to call up or to trade.
No, your cupboard is pretty bare right now when you look at, because they have brought all their players up for the most part. But I mean, to me, the guy that I'm looking toward, because I look at some of the guys that are on the team. We talked about Engel a little bit. We talked about your boy Wallace and Gromit over there that's been playing first base, right? You know what I mean? Like, if to me, he should be very soon sliding into that role, maybe after this year, and then let Abreu just be your DH, full time.
Agreed.
But the one guy that really kind of I want them to focus on it and really needs to figure his shit out is Moncada, because we talked about it a little bit before.
Yes.
The fact that he was out when during that COVID year when he got sick and he never really kind of came back. I mean, this is a big fucking guy. You're 6'2", 225, and you are just not hitting the way that you should.
I don't understand. How do you have tired legs, bro?
I don't.
As many days as he's gotten off, how do you have tired legs? And this is I was listening to the radio yesterday, and they were talking about they don't make them like they used to, right? We always say that. Old people say that they don't make stuff like they used to. They don't make big players. The Cal Ripkins, the Frank Thomas, the Ozzie Guillen's, who you had to literally drag them with a SWAT team off the field, even if they were banged up. Hey, take a couple Advil, let's go. I'm in there. They don't make players like that. And with these guys getting as many days off as they do, pinch hit for, they have all the technology for health that these guys in the 70s, 80s, and 90s didn't have. How are these guys getting injured a lot more than those everyday players that we grew up with?
I think, number one, it's drugs. I mean, I think we can 100% say that it is drugs. It has steroids, right? That's a big thing. When we were a kid, we didn't think about steroids until, we were teenagers, and that kind of became a thing. But I mean, we didn't, that's more than likely a big part of it. But I mean, look, right now I'm looking at Moncada's stats, 60 at-bats, not a lot.
Not a lot.
Okay. His average is 133 on the year. 133.
Below the Mendoza line?
And for his last 7 games, his average is 0.80. That is a 0 with an 8 and then another 0.
Because he had one good game and then he was 0 for everything.
So I just don't understand what is going on with this guy. Now you look at a guy, again, we talked about Jake Berger. Yes, you're just a guy. But you're hitting 250. You got 4 home runs.
And he was slotted into the 4th spot yesterday.
You know what I mean? And on your average, right? Your average is 5 home runs on the season for this guy. He's already got 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so he's playing, like you said, he's playing to the stats on the back of his baseball card.
He is.
Right now.
He
right?
is.
His career average is 254 this season. Right now he's 250.
He'll be around there. He'll be around that. He's going to have like 12 home runs for the year, because he won't get no more playing time when Moncada gets back.
And that's the shitty thing, is that Moncada, you're outplaying Moncada right now, but because he's a name, he is part of that package that you traded for.
Agreed.
Right? That's where you're going to get that love. So I mean, it is definitely frustrating. And then you got a guy like Josh Harrison, right? He was just that kind of lop him on at the end.
Yeah.
But again, he's a career 271 hitter, and he's hitting 167 right now.
Yeah, there's about 8 guys that are hitting like under 200. It's really bad. Besides, who is it? Berger, Vaughn. I think Vaughn's almost at the 200 mark. But there's a lot of players under, and I'm just like, it's so frustrating because you have enough injuries. Why are the rest of the guys who are allowed to step up, bro? Step up.
Yeah. I
mean, you got Oscar Colas, Yolki Cespedes. They're supposed to be a couple years away. They're outfielders. They're sluggers, and they're they're doing well. You got Jorge Verga, who's going to be Vera. Sorry, it was who's a prospect pitcher for the White Sox, who's going to be a couple years away as well. I mean, you have a lot of stuff in the bank, but they're not seasoned yet. You got to let that simmer. So right now, the White Sox, if they don't go past that 500 mark for the next 9 games, it's time to hit the panic button.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think we're at that point, like you said. White Sox got to get it together because they are just not. I don't know what it is with this team.
And then 3 runs a game is not going to cut it.
No. And granted, yes, you're missing Eloy right now. You are missing Lubob right now. You know, you're missing Moncada. You're missing what Moncada should be right now, right?
Kelly.
Joe Kelly went down. I'm not thrilled with your catcher. You know what I mean?
No.
I'm not. You know, I feel like right now you have a lot of holes and question marks in this team, and even just the way he plays. Like I'm not that big on Grandal. I'm just not.
No,
even the way he calls the game is weird. Like,
yes,
it's just,
I don't. Again, I am liking the kid that we got from Toronto.
Yeah,
he's been his. Again, he's not supposed to bat 300. You're talking about Reese McGuire.
Yep.
But he's getting at least 1 hit a game and an RBI. He catches a very good game. He calls a very good game.
Yeah.
And he's got a great arm to throw people out.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that he's, again, a nobody, right?
He was there to play the defense because we gave up offense for defense.
Right.
And he's actually doing a little bit of both. So, again, this goes back to not wanting to pay 2 catchers when we had McCann, who was a better defensive catcher, a way better play caller.
And look what
he's been
pretty good since he left the Sox.
Yeah, right, exactly. But you chose the big name. And this is one of those times that the White Sox didn't bargain a shop, and they got burned with him and Keiko.
Well, this is what I'll say is that, you talked about Eloy being out, Moncada being out, Lance Lynn being out, and now we got TA out. I think right now you have to have some of these guys that are filling in for him. And we've seen it. We've seen it. We've seen the guys fill in. We've seen Berger. We've seen, your boy in the outfield do pretty well. But guess what, White Sox fans? You got 2 weeks to get your shit together, get it going. And if you don't figure it out, you're going to be sellers instead of buyers at the trade deadline. And that's the bottom line.
And that's the bottom line.
All right, fans, we'll be right back with Stirring the Pot after a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
We all know that 2020 was no joke, and with an ever-changing world climate, many people are looking for a new opportunity. Guys, are you looking for a career that rewards effort and makes you feel valued as a team member? Let me tell you a little about our friends at ACSI. ACSI is a certified RCN business agent. They provide the same RCN services with a personalized touch. Their sales and technician teams work hand in hand, ensuring your experience will be smooth and pleasant. Gone are the days of being transferred from one person to the next. At ACSI, they handle everything from start to finish. It's never been so easy to get internet service. ACSI is a growing Chicagoland company that encourages personal growth and rewards perseverance. As they expand, they're looking for passionate, responsible, and honest professionals to join their team. A career with ACSI means you will be part of a hardworking, flexible, and dynamic team that is a leader in the installation of cable and internet services in the Chicagoland area. Best of all, ACSI was awarded Hacia's 2020 Contractor of the Year Award. Are you ready to grow with a local Chicago company on the rise? Check out acsi.tech and click on careers to get started. That's acsi.tech and click on careers.
Hey, this is Mikey O, and you're listening to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with E-Rock and Big Z.
Oh, yeah.
All right, brother, it's that time again.
Uh-oh.
You know what time it is.
Oh, boy.
It's time for Stirring the Pot. Oh, man. Oh, I got a good one, man.
Hey, it's Memorial Day. You better throw some good shit at me, man. So give me something good.
All right.
Give me something good.
So yesterday, I was having a little bit of brunch. It was fancy with the pinky up.
Yeah, pinky up.
Yeah, so I ordered some tequila shots, because, that's what we do.
Fancy tequila shots.
Oh, yeah, and the waiter's like, oh, what kind of tequila do you want? He literally had a 7-8 foot wall of tequilas up there. He's like, which one do you want?
I'm sorry, what?
8-foot wall of tequilas. Yeah, so I was like, all right, so let me get some. I was like, you know what, let's Centenario or Herradura, something like that. He's like, you know what? I got you. He's like, I have this tequila. I forgot the name of the brand. It's something we drink all the time, but I forget shit. But it's infused with pineapple. So it's literally in a what are those things? Summer things they put them outside. The little glass thing where it has like a water and you just pour it in.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Okay,
yeah,
so it's literally
like the punch carafe.
Yeah. So it's literally full of pineapple,
Okay.
and it's filled with tequila. So it is tequila that's been fermented with pineapple.
Okay.
So it's a white tequila, and it's been sitting there for
Like
whatever.
a Blanco, and it sits in there.
Yes.
Okay, I see. Okay.
And they poured that out. We all had shots, and oh my God,
Okay.
it is delicious because it gives you that smoky taste still. It gives you a little bit of sweetness, and then it gets you with that tequila. So my question to you is, would you take infused tequila shots? Pineapple.
All right. First of all,
Shout out to Mike with his pineapple.
First of all, pineapple don't go on pizza. I just want to make sure that we reiterate that in case we haven't talked about that in a while. You fucking weirdos. But yeah, I mean, look, pineapple with tequila, hell yeah. Pineapple on pizza, hell no. So I mean, I think we understand the dynamic there,
here.
how that works. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, like that sounds good. I might put like some limon in there. You know what I mean? Something like that, and let it sit there and ferment. Because I told you before, what I'll do is if I'm feeling a little feisty, I'll go ahead and order a Modelo.
Okay.
And then tequila on the rocks
Yes.
with the limon, and let it sit there, and then drink my beer. And by the time I'm done with the beer, my tequila is ready to sip, because I like to cut it a little bit with the water, and then you get the lime and let it steep like it's tea, right? And by the time I'm ready to drink this guy, I get another Modelo and two shots and two drinks in, I'm good to go, and I just cruise on my Modelo the rest of the night. So hell yeah, I would try that. I mean, it's a perfect way to kick off summertime. It sounds like a great summertime.
It's one of those things you can sip all day.
Right.
I mean, you're not gonna
sip. You can sip on it.
Yeah, they give it to shots, and they were very small shots because it's very strong tequila. But it is something where you, like you said, you put a big cube of ice.
Yep.
You pour it in there, and then take a sip. Let it melt a little bit. Ooh. Okay.
And see, that's the thing too, is like, especially in the summertime when everyone's getting ready to party, you'll sit there and you'll have your red cup. To me, that sounds like something that'd be like really, really good in a glass.
Oh no, it has got to be in a glass.
You know what I mean? A glass with the big ice cubes. I hope I got some still in the freezer for later. But I mean, I would definitely try that, man. It sounds like you fucking tricked me into agreeing with you somehow.
Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am correct.
Oh god damn.
No, for real, but like, I know we're big tequila connoisseurs. We love our tequilas. It doesn't matter what color it is, how many ages. I mean, I like all tequila.
Yeah, I do too. But I mean, like, I like
not all the brands.
Yo, that's the big.
Yeah. We're not talking about cheap tequila. We're talking about good tequila.
I feel like every tequila, whether it's Blanco, Reposado, and they all have their own space.
Correct.
Right. Blanco is underrated to me.
It is.
You could do a lot of stuff with Blanco. Blanco is great for mixing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And some of the others are better for sipping and things like that.
Same thing with whiskey, right? Your Jack is good for mixing.
Yeah, no, it's still avoid it.
I know you're off the brown stuff now.
Yeah. What? But I got a question for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Before we go, what you looking at? What are you watching that isn't sports, sir?
Oh man, there's so much stuff that's coming out this week. I'm like giddy. First things first, Stranger Things Season 4 Part 1. Yes, you heard that correct. Stranger Things Season 4 Part 1, 7 episodes. Each episode's over an hour.
Dude, so just for reference, I'm looking at episode 1 was like 2 hours. Episode 2 was 2 hours. And I went back and I'm sitting there like just to scroll up. I'm like, season 1, 45 minutes, 38 minutes, 57 minutes. I'm like, y'all, like I get it, but damn, like I have a tendency to take a nap.
After 35 minutes.
I'm in for about 45. And even we're watching the second episode of season 4 last night. And right when something crazy is about to happen, I'm dozing off. And my daughter's sitting there hitting the bottom of the recliner like, Dad, wake up, watch this.
Did she finish it already?
We haven't finished it. We only watched the first 2 episodes so far because we'll watch it together.
Oh man, it is such a great show. And we were talking a little bit off air when we come up with our shows that we watch, and this is one of those shows that has progressed over time. Yes. It does have a lot of kid topics and so forth, but these kids are growing up. We didn't have a show for 2 years, so now
the content is growing up.
I didn't recognize some of the kids at first because they've grown up. Their facial features are a little different. Correct. They have more hair, whatever.
Will is weird. It just looks as weird as ever.
Yeah.
And you're like, what about me?
Yeah.
What about me?
Yeah, there's a lot of dynamics that are evolving. You also have a new villain that's appearing that we still don't know what the origin is.
Nope.
But
that
it is
scary.
Oh, but yeah, it is very connected. It's such a great show. Like I can't stop watching. I think I have half of 6 and 7 to watch, and then I'm gonna be going through withdrawals until July 1st. So, but another show that is coming out is The Boys, which comes out at the end of the week. I know you're. Have you seen that yet?
I saw about 3 episodes.
Yeah, there we go. So watch The Boys, ladies and gentlemen. It is a superhero. Real life kind of application to it. Where what if superheroes weren't so cut out blue collar?
What if superheroes didn't have any morals?
There you go. Yeah, pretty much. And then the other one that just premiered last week is the Obi-Wan series. I think the first 2 episodes are out on Disney Plus. That's still something I need to watch. I heard there's a couple of Easter eggs in there that you got to be paying attention to. So I will hit up Gigantor because he's the Star Wars nerd for us. So. But this is one thing that I wanted to talk about a lot, and it's a movie that I text you as soon as I finished watching it last weekend after, that's a replay. After we finished recording last weekend, it's called The Outfit. It's on Peacock.
Okay.
So The Outfit makes reference to the syndicate, The Outfit, which was a nationwide syndicate that happened in the 50s after Al Capone passed away, and then all these guys got out together.
I remember this.
All right. So this is a movie based in Chicago, and it's literally shot in a storefront. Like the whole movie is in a storefront. So there's 4 different rooms in a storefront, and that's where the whole movie takes place.
This reminds me of The Sopranos in the butcher shop.
Yes, that's early.
Right.
That's early. Where that's the main shot. Yeah. So it is one of those movies where it's a murder mystery, kind of the Clue.
Ooh.
Yeah, and
it's a whodunit.
Yeah, whodunit, and there's twists, turns, and holy shit moments. Like you think this person did it. Nope.
Wait, this is a movie or
this is a movie?
Okay.
So it's right up your alley. It's right up your alley because I don't want to give you another series.
That's something that I can watch and be done with.
Yeah, I think it's about 2 hours even. Okay. It's one of those movies you're gonna be like, okay, good. So it takes place in a tailor shop. If you don't know, a tailor is referred to as a cutter.
Yep.
So they cut the fabric and they put everything together. Those are the cutters. Tailors are the ones that sew everything up, pretty much. Your hem, your.
You know what's funny is you mentioned that is that my dad would always talk about like when he was in London when he was in the 70s, I think.
Speaking of, go ahead.
So he would always you'd have suits tailored directly for you. You wouldn't just go buy. There was no such
off the rack.
No off the rack, right?
Yeah.
So when he always talks about the tailor that was measuring you, one of the questions they would ask you is, how do you dress?
Yes.
I beg your pardon?
Yes.
Do you know what that means? When you ask how do you dress, what side of your pant leg do you sit your dick so that it's more comfortable, so you have more room on that side?
Yeah. I never pay attention to what side it's on. I just know it's there.
But it was like, how do you dress, sir? Like, oh, just,
So the cutter is from London. So he studied for years and years to become a cutter. And then there's a story about him coming into Chicago. So
they're also called moils.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Moils.
You know what a moil is? No. A moil is the Jewish one that performs the circumcision. That's right. They say, hey, how's that hanging? Short, shriveled, and always to the left.
Liar, liar. Liar, liar. All right, E, what are you watching, brother?
So aside from Stranger Things, which I'm super excited about, I've also just watched a movie that my wife kept telling me, watch this fucking movie, and it is called The Gentleman. This is movie. This is a really good movie. Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam, Colin Farrell, Hugh Grant, and the story, the synopsis for you guys. Mickey Pearson is an American expatriate who became rich by building a highly profitable marijuana empire in London. When word gets out that he's looking to cash out of the business, it soon triggers an array of plots and schemes, including bribery and blackmail from shady characters who want to steal his domain. This is a Guy Ritchie movie. So if you know anything about Guy Ritchie movies like Snatch, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, I think it was one of his as well. I might be wrong on that one. But anyone that knows Guy Ritchie movies knows, what this is, the feel of this thing.
Yep.
This was so enjoyable. Based on the topic, it might be more enjoyable if you partake in the particular plant that they're talking about. But yeah, I mean, very, very interesting. Very interesting the way that he set everything up, and the way that he was able to farm his product without being known, without being seen. That was really, really cool. Very interesting, and the way that it was all written with Hugh Grant basically being the one to tell the story, and he was getting ready to sell a script to them and saying, hey, this is how I know all these things and this is how it all developed, and that's kind of the way it went down. But I mean, I would definitely recommend this one, and it's got a lot of twists and turns and all that stuff like that you mentioned in some of your previous recommendations. You heard about this one?
I did. I saw a clip where Charlie Hunnam disarmed an assailant who had a gun on him, and he had nothing with him. I think he had like an umbrella or something, and he just disarmed him within 2 seconds. And he's like, "All right, what's up now?" So I did see that one clip. It might have been like on a Facebook clip or something, but it is a movie that's on my queue to watch. Again, I am off work in about 4 or 5 days, so I have a lot to watch and a lot to do, sir.
There you go. And speaking of a lot to watch, a lot to do, a lot to see, and a lot to eat, we're about to go and barbecue, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to eat and drink, because it is Memorial Day, and that's what we do. So I want to thank all of you out there for listening once again. Thank you to those our friends that have gone through everything, and the veterans, and just we think about you on this day, not Veterans Day, Memorial Day, those have passed, and we think about the victims of the recent happenings in the world, in this country, and we just want you to know that, we hope that our show gives you a little bit of glimmer of hope, a little bit of a bright spot in your day, makes you laugh. You know what I mean? A little bit of levity, and that's good. That's a good word. I've
been reading.
That's a $10 word right there,
sir.
You're at that 6th grade level now. Now you can communicate with your students,
right? That's right.
But a big thank you to our sponsors, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, ACSI, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Search your keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 at checkout for 15% off of your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your shirts right now.
Right now.
And don't forget to visit our guy Danny and our friends over at acsi.tech and check out the career sections to start an exciting new career in the communications industry. Go to acsi.tech, that's acsi.tech, and click on careers to apply today and get your summer in gear. Don't forget to check out the Shy Native Radio podcast, now available on all major platforms. Mike Logic, Ideal, and Throw MCs talks about sports, movies, and all types of ill shit. And don't forget to check out Shy Native Nights. They are doing their really cool showcase of different artists throughout the city. Check out the Shy Native Radio Facebook page or Instagram, idealraps.com. You'll see all of their stuff that they got going on. They've been international, man. They've been going over to Canada. I guess that's international, but they've been all over the place doing their thing. So shout out to Mike Logic and his crew. And don't forget to check out our guys, Ronash Panic, Serious Beats, custom made. They did all the beats we play on today's show. Check out paniconthebeat.com for all your Moment merch and gear. Check us out on social media. You can find us at True Shy Fans on Twitter. That's at True CHI Fans on Twitter and on TikTok. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and reach out to us. Hit the DMs with your Stirring the Pot recommendations, your movie recommendations, and just tell us what you think about the show. And, look, I want to address something that happened on the page this week. Some people are paying attention to the page. They're not realizing the amount of content we put out on the show. All you guys do now is advertise for the show. It's a lot of White Sox content. Look, guys, right now, Closure, right? That's the one of the guys right there.
And Larry.
Look. Most of the content that's going on right now is White Sox, right? We have some Cubs. We're trying to talk about what's going on with them. We're watching the Cubs right now.
Yes, we are.
We don't skimp on it, but we have to report the news that's going on right now, right? And the White Sox is what's going on.
It's the hot news right now.
It's the hot news. And
there's no Bears news. There's no Bulls.
Right. Yeah. We didn't
even talk about the fire today, sir.
Oh, good God! Put that fire out. Hey. So look, we appreciate those of you that listen, that are loyal, that understand that topics will change. Right now is going to be the White Sox. Guess what? Soon enough, you guys are going to be sick of hearing me talk about the Bears, and that's all it's going to do. You know what I mean? So once Bears season comes back, we'll be in that. But we do appreciate each and every one of you for listening and just supporting the show. Everyone that's been a part of it for 2 years now. We had our big party last year. We're just plugging through, and thank you to my wife, Kim, for always supporting us, doing everything she can to just make sure that we're comfortable in our space. The people coming through the show, the guests that we've had over the last 2 years, the linchpins, the cogs that have helped the show grow and develop over the time. And we just really appreciate you, especially here on our 2-year anniversary. And,
yes, sir.
That's what I got. You got anything else you want to add?
Nope. Well said. I want to go eat.
All right, y'all. For Big Z, this is E-Rock. We'll see you next week for episode 99. Until then, be good to each other.
For the love of sports.
A few moments later.
Wait, the Bears are what we thought they were. What we thought they were.
This is not how we wanted it to go. You almost can't even make it up. It's that bad.
Oh, my goodness! Didn't see that coming! Hum-diddly-dee! What? Did we just become best friends? Yup!
You have a lot of incest.
That's real. Shut your mouth.
Lover boy.
Nature versus nurture, Lodge. Nature always wins.
I think he's on steroids.
Hasta luego, amigos! That's all, I shouldn't have had those artichokes. I'll eat the poppers.
Thanks, Cubs!